Hi everyone, I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And we are at part 2 of Narcissist recording Gorilla Fucking Your Soul. And what happened yesterday was when I tried to stop the video to make a comment, I rewound it to a point and then I couldn't find where it was, and I got so frustrated because I was like fast forwarding back to like 30 minutes in because I saw it was already a 45-minute video at that point, and I'm like, well, it must be at least 30 minutes. Like I was only like 20 minutes in because I was stopping and commenting so much. So I'm going to pick up basically right before it stopped yesterday, and I had to stop because it was like one of those videos that was just, overly emotional on my end, but it is what it is. I mean, it's my natural reaction. I know there's an issue with the mic on these longer videos with the video and video. I don't know what it is. It comes and goes. I've uploaded the drivers, all that stuff, so I don't know what caused it. It just might be an issue with the laptop. I don't think so, but this laptop's giving me no issues whatsoever. But it's over 2 years old, so who knows? But the thing runs like a tank. Like I have no issues with it, so who knows? But before I even get back into Anonymous's video, I just wanted to address a couple of the comments in yesterday's comment section. Most of them are agreeing that she's awful, and she is awful. I mean, right now she's borderline personality with over the top histrionic. She's just awful. She's just awful. Now, am I going to hear something in the next 40 minutes of audio that'll change my mind? Maybe. But seriously, is part 2 even necessary? I get you. I understand. But it is, just so we can see how long this woman can hammer on and on and on and on. It reminds me of the Narcissist recording that was sent in by a woman who was the problem, remember? And it was just, no, it was the husband. I'm sorry, it was the husband who sent it in. He didn't know. And she went on, it was like an hour and 15 minutes, and she went on for 40 minutes before he even uttered a word. So yeah, for scope, yeah, it is necessary to do part 2. Like I get it. Like wow, like we've already got this in like 3 minutes, but no, it is necessary so we can hear exactly what he's going through and her relentlessness. And then there's this one. Here it is. Andromeda. Now somebody's emailing me telling me that this is a person that's attacking me behind the scenes or what. I don't think so, because if it's the person you're saying it is, that would surprise me. I mean, that would surprise me a lot. I just don't think so, because the person you're saying it is still interacts with me on Facebook and my posts. So I don't think so. And I wonder if she pays the majority of the bills and he's neglectful while doing everything: chores, childcare, working. If he's not pulling his share, she's being more than patient. He knows he's being recorded. She is not aware of this. She's treating him like a child for many reasons, and it's hard to say why. I understand what you're saying, like, well, maybe he's like just irresponsible with money and he has to be treated like, but no, he's the one off working all day. It seems like she is in charge of childcare. And she doesn't say anything. She doesn't say that. She goes on for 20 minutes complaining about how he treats her, not what he does. I mean, other than buying a pair of shoes for himself, but she doesn't say why he can't buy a pair of shoes, other than she didn't know about it. There's no follow-up. She would have said it. She would have said it if that was the deal. And the fact that he's being recorded and he's saying his behavior is different, his behavior is obviously not any different, because she's saying it's not any different. Her whole argument is how he treats her differently than he treats her children, that he won't engage with her. and he's still not engaging with her. He may be engaging with her a little more than he normally does. So the fact that he's calm or not talking, I mean, that's the whole crux of her issue with him. So the fact that he may know that he knows they're being recorded and she does and she may not, it doesn't matter, because that's not the argument they're having. It's not like these rage outs he's having and she's accusing him of being bad with money or accusing. It's all about control and how he treats her, how he treats the children better than her. So I don't think so. And again, the person emailing me about Andromeda, I don't think they're the person you think they are. I really don't. So now back to the audio at hand. So hopefully my voice doesn't garble again. We can get a clean copy, but can't make promises. It usually happens for about 5 minutes and then clears up. I know it's an issue. So here we go. Part 2 of Gorilla Fucking Your Soul.
Well, I get tired up there, you know? Like, why would I want to come downstairs? It's the end of the day. It's late. I just fall asleep and...
Dear son.
You know? No. You know, I'm like, well, come back upstairs after you take the... You know, on the weekend, come and be... Oh, it takes me so long. You should go... You should take the dogs out. You know? This is how long it takes. I feed them. I make them a nice breakfast. Yeah, you're going to be up there waiting for an hour, right?
And it's the sing-song delivery again. She's relentless. And she's not saying anything. She's not saying a damn thing.
Right? So it's like I keep trying to like get something and it's, I think it's satisfying for you. You know, like here's this person.
I think it's satisfying. Again, she's telling you what's going on in your head. That's what all she does. She sits there and puts thoughts in your head, intents in your head, motives in your head. You can't defend. It's indefensible. You can't defend it. You're just waiting for the next thing to piss her off.
It's continually to like, they want me, you know? And I think that there is a satisfaction that comes with that. Mm-hmm. But it's not a healthy dynamic. Because then at the same time, it's not a healthy dynamic. And then I'm painted as the one that's the control freak, that's the bad person that doesn't let you do.
No, she's not this is it right there. She knows she's a control freak. She knows this is all her being a complete control freak. She has to control everybody. It's to the extent where he's not allowed to have his own thoughts. She needs to control his thoughts by telling him what he's thinking and his motives behind it. And then making him have to defend that because she's upset over it. How do you do that? What do you do with that other than disengage? The only thing you can do is not engage it. Now, if he's hanging in for the kid's sake, how he's handling it is exactly how he should handle it. Don't engage it. Don't engage it. If he could get it to the point where he could block it out for the children's sake, then he's doing the exact right thing how to handle her. Because she's never going to stop sitting there and trying to tell him what he's thinking, why he's thinking it, and why he should be sorry for it. Gorilla fucking your soul. Could you imagine living under those conditions and then having her yap, 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 yap in your face? Sing songs.
Do what you want to do.
Hearing that you're upset and frustrated and tired of it, I would imagine. I'm kind of imagining now, since it's been going on for 18 years or whatever. I guess, like I always end up saying I'm sorry for making you feel that way.
You're shaking your head no while you're saying
because
you're sorry.
You told me before that I don't apologize or anything. I just go away. So
So you shouldn't say you're sorry and then shake your head no at the same time.
God.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's not good enough. Your apology's not good enough. Your apologies for the thoughts I'm assigning to you that you have to... It's not good enough. Walk it off. No, you don't like it? Walk it off. Walk it off. Be fine. Go ahead. Ice it up. Want to ice that up? Want to ice up? Grab some ice. Walk it off. You'll be fine.
I'm sorry I make you feel that way.
Yeah, and I do think that there is something about feeling like you have power. And you've made it so that you have a lot of power over me. Because I keep trying to get you to do this thing, and then you keep not doing it. And I do think that there is something that's feeding for you or something, you know. And you know, and you've got your own depression stuff that you have or whatever.
I wonder why. I wonder why he has his own depression stuff. Jesus. I wonder why he's depressed.
It causes that. I mean, that's part of it. But I do want you to know that, like, I'm not going to play into that cycle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because...
So then, like, on a Saturday morning, and I come down here, walk the dogs, feed the dogs, give
Dear son
his medicine, do all that stuff, and it takes me 40 minutes. So then what are you going to do? You know, before I come upstairs, what are you going to do?
Dear husband,
I do think that maybe you should investigate why it takes you 40 minutes to do those things that really should not take 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth. It does.
Oh, he's not doing it fast enough. It's like, what are the rules? What are the rules? What are the times constraints? What is it? What is it? What's the now there's time constraints to how fast I gotta do things? Don't know why you would be depressed. I don't know why.
It doesn't take 40 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to take the dogs out and give
dear son,
medicine. And so, like, I mean, so I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, this idea that, like, it's reasonable that it takes you 40 minutes. Like,
so recently I felt like I've been better at it because, like, I don't even feed the dogs. And I come upstairs a lot quicker, but now you don't seem to recognize that.
Some people like to walk their dogs. Some people, you're supposed to spend time with your dogs. That's why you fucking have them. Also, it's probably very cathartic to him because the dogs aren't fucking breaking his balls incessantly. You know, you're not walking me the right way. Why do you go this way? You know, what's in you doing this to sabotage me? You're just gaslighting me because, you know, I want to take a piss on that fire hydrant. You make me take a piss on that tree. This is just open gaslighting. Gee, I don't know why he would want to spend more time with the fucking dogs than with you either. Holy God. You suck. Woman, you suck.
So...
I don't even feed them, so then I'm like cutting the whole thing out.
You're changing the subject, and you're trying to find like an opening to prove me wrong. That the bigger picture.
An opening to prove me wrong? What do you mean? There shouldn't be. If you're wrong, there's no opening to prove you wrong. You're just wrong. You're just wrong, and you're wrong because you're a borderline, lunatic, histrionic control freak. Gorilla raping, gorilla fucking his soul. Gorilla fucking his soul. I'm only 2 minutes back into this, and she's already got me.
I mean, this is what's
you're saying that it takes too long for me to come up, so now that I've cut a big chunk out of it, is it still too long? Because you're not acknowledging that I feel like I come up as quick as I...
Maybe if he punches a clock. How about that? Each job. You can punch a fucking clock. Punch in and out. Holy God. Holy God.
Can.
I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes.
So you don't recall 30-cent weekends? Like ask,
dear daughter,
feed the dogs, and then let them out after they eat sometimes, and so on.
I mean, I would say keep doing it. And also what you want to do is convey to me that you want to come upstairs and you're looking forward to being around me. Right? I mean,
Why
all
would
those
he?
things are not things that are on an island that stand on their own. So, for instance, if I call you and you're like, hello, and then it's,
Dear son.
you're like,
Yeah, because he sees the phone. He sees the phone, and he's like, what could it possibly be? What? Please, you just raped me. You just gorilla fucked me 3 hours ago already. That's what's going on.
hey, how's it going? Right? Like, that is going to impact my perception that you don't want to be around me.
Why would he want to be around you? You're horrible.
You don't say. I mean, what you also said to
Dear son.
when he called was like, I've been thinking about you. I was just thinking about you.
Oh, I'm sure he thinks about you. I'm sure he thinks about you. Trust me, he's always thinking about you.
I don't hear things like that from my husband. And so maybe, maybe you come up a little bit quicker, but it still very much feels like it's a chore, or like you're doing it just because you have to, And that makes a difference. It's your demeanor, Like even right now, like let's just look. I'll show you. Like this is who I'm looking at. Is this a person who wants to be in a conversation with me?
Well, you don't think I'm looking like that because I'm saddened by what you're saying?
Well, but
Dear husband.
this demeanor that I just took a picture of is how you typically are around me. So it's not like this conversation.
Okay, Andromeda, she's taking pictures of his demeanor. I don't give a shit if she knows or not whether like his demeanor. Let me stand here and take a shit on you for 25 minutes, 24 and a half minutes so far. And then take a picture because your demeanor is not good enough. Oh, you just fucking awful woman. You are awful.
Is you're often, like this on the couch, right? Like if I suggest something, it's like you don't get excited about doing.
And again, Andromeda, I'm just trying to point out, her complaints are nothing about him being irresponsible, not helping, none of that. No, he gives the child his medicine. It takes too long. You're taking too long because you're avoiding me. It's all about her and attention, needing constant attention over her children, over her pets, over his time, over how he answers the phone. She's taking a 25. This is an hour and 5 minutes long. As she's in the process of taking an hour and 5 minute long shit all over him, his demeanor's not good enough.
Doing it, I have to keep bringing something up again and again. I still want to work on the outdoor sectional, but you're not going to bring it up, I guess. I wanted to go look at furniture or look at fabric. That's not something that you care about. It's not your thing. It's my thing. I bought you that book. You're not going to look at the book, but you're going to take home a piece of furniture from a soccer studio. We still haven't gotten rid of the furniture that I want to get rid of. It's still going to be sitting there. So you're working on the skateboards. You're going to find any way you can to take care of that. But there's not like the same energy and interest in something that you think will be specifically something that's interesting to me or for us. It's just not there.
Can she do anything without you? Can she do anything on it? Like she wants to drag you around again, take up your time, to bully your time. In effect, because I know in these fabric stores, it is endless and endless, and all it is opportunity for you to piss her off. If you don't like the right pattern, if you don't have the right posture, like it's all day. This is all day at any time. If his posture becomes wrong, if a facial expression's not right, here we go. She's pissed off again, and you're off again to the.
So the way it feels is if it's a
Dear wife.
thing, it's a chore, and if it's a kid thing, then you want to do it. Watch out with your facial expressions right now.
Dear husband.
Well, you used the sectional outside.
Watch out with your facial expressions. So if it's something with me, it's a chore. If it's something with the children, you're happy to do it. I can't figure out why. I mean, come on here.
As an example?
Dear husband.
Change your expression on your face.
But that seems like a bad example.
Why is that?
So when you know, the timeline of the sectional, you brought it up at first, and I was like, hell no, I don't want to do that. Why are you giving me this gigantic thing to do now?
Right.
Right?
And that wasn't just in the beginning. That was for a long part of it.
I don't think so. Because then I feel like maybe a week. I don't know. But I turned around and I was like, okay,
I mean,
let's
you
do
know, I
it.
wanted to just sit out there and have a fire with
Friend.
It wasn't like you were excited to do that.
Right. Yeah. I wasn't
Excited. He has to be excited. Like, yeah. Like, what is this? What is this? High school pep squad? What is this? What a child. You're married to a fucking child. A spoiled one, clearly, at that.
The past couple, maybe 3 years, it's like every time I go outside, I just get bit up by bugs. I don't want to go outside. If you remember, I used to always want to go outside. But now it's like, God, don't like going outside. But then you started showing me sectionals to build or whatever, and I started turning around and being like, all right. And then we went out there and kind of laid it out. That was I initiated that to happen.
So she's having him build a sectional. Just whatever with your time, your labor, your energy. Like, let's go. You got to be excited for it. Not just building skateboards for the kids. Because I'm sure when you're building something, she just lets you work, right? She doesn't stand there like the fucking job foreman. One of the classic lines my father, and I will give him because he could get him off on my mother. Because like I said, my father could build anything. I mean, like, there's just no taking that away from him. His abilities to build shit, and construct, like, anything. Electric, plumbing, whatever. If you were stranded on a fucking island, okay, you'd want him there. He'd somehow figure out how to build a fucking house, have it plumbing, electricity. Trust me. Well, and it would survive any hurricane that came through, you know? But one of the things, whenever it was construction, like whenever we were working, here comes Drunky, like, and he would stop, and he'd be like, because I was mad, he's like, Matthew, did you go put outside the foreman wanted sign again? And she just gets so fucking pissed. Like, there's no job foreman needed. Because then she'll tell you, okay, as you're building it, how long it should take, why are you doing it this way, was it like this, your posture's not right. All it is more opportunity to piss her off. Job foreman, constant job foreman.
Right.
I was looking at sectionals on my own after you showed me that first time, found some that I liked, and eventually I modeled the entire sectional in Revit, dimension out and everything, and kept trying to get you to look at it with me, and you never would, but then you wanted to go look at fabric. So that's where I left it.
That's not exactly the term. That's in your mind, a lot of the details. In my mind, I've been wanting to work on outside for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been looking at outdoor patio sets and wanting you to come look at them and, you know, talking about the outdoor and making that a patio and stuff like that.
So all she's doing is looking for things for him to build, like giving him more work to do. So obviously Anonymous has some kind of trades where he could look at a sectional and dimension it out and build it himself. And like, that's all she's doing. It's giving him more shit to build. You're going to tell him how to do it and how fast it should be. Like, oh, God.
and you haven't shown that much interest. Maybe I've taken you to Costco to look at things or other outdoor patio sets, and it's not like that's something that's been like, oh, let's see if I can also be looking for that.
Dear wife.
So that we can find something that would be nice, right? So that's been just my thing. Then I wanted to sit out there, and you didn't really have any interest in sitting out there. Then I started looking into outdoor patio sets on Facebook, and I would show them to you, and you didn't really seem to be, whatever, that much into them. Then I got the idea of building something. I showed it to you on several occasions.
All she does is sit around and think up shit for you to do. Get her a job as a cruise director, like something.
Occasion, and it took you a very long time. Then I showed you one that seemed to get your interest, and then once your interest or whatever, then you started to build something or whatever.
You mean one he liked? Oh, well, you kept showing him things until you showed him one he liked and started. He's not allowed to have an opinion. So obviously here, Anonymous, you don't understand the rules, okay? Once she brings you something, first time you're supposed to agree with her. You're not allowed to have a fucking opinion of your own, okay? She's bringing you the answer. Here's the answer, build this. You're not allowed to say, I don't like that. It's the fact that you're disagreeing with her opinion that she really has a problem with. Because once she brings you something that you both agree on, it seems, you start building it.
In Revit, as you said. I think that somehow it seemed like that it became your, that it was like you wanted a very specific thing. And so you built this thing or whatever in Revit, and then there was some other things going on, like where...
Some things, I think, some things, like there's nothing here. It's bitching for the sport of bitching. She's pissed off because you don't agree with her every freaking whim on the spot. That's what it is. She has to be agreed with 100% of the time. Has to be what she likes. You have to know what she's thinking. Like this, yes, and you got to be happy to do it. Yes, ma'am. This woman is in a lifelong competition with her mother, isn't she? Isn't she? That's where this comes from. That's exactly where this comes from. She is in a lifelong competition with her mother.
You and I were not on good terms for whatever reason. You wanted me to look at it, and you're right. Like, there was like one or two times when you were showing it to me where, for whatever reason, and I don't remember what the circumstances were, I didn't want to look at it or whatever on Revit. We had a conversation about that, and then I told you I did want to look at it. Then I also told you that I wanted to look at the fabric on the couches. But once that had happened, it was basically dead in your head, and then you decided you didn't want to talk about it anymore or do it. And I think the other thing that was happening around that time was the whole guitar thing. Mm-hmm. So then we had a conversation. I said, but it would be exciting for me to look at the fabric or whatever and the cushions. And I kept saying I'd like to do that. And I did it. It was several times. And you had it in your head that, because the one time, even though this was something I had brought up so many times, basically it's like,
dear wife,
it's like one strike you're out, like I didn't give you what you needed that one time.
She just admitted it's one strike you're out, and she's projecting it back on you. Okay? You didn't like the original fabric. Like, this is the same problem with the furniture, isn't it? You just don't like the fabric she keeps bringing to you, okay? You don't want to go with her because you know what that's going to be like. You know the fight that's going to be caused on the scene so you got to hang back just like you do, where you walk away and don't engage until she brings you one, because it's easier than going with her and having to deal with that nightmare at the start. I got it. I got it. I told you. She's projecting exactly what I said. It's you are supposed to agree with her on site. First thing she shows you every time. And now she's projecting it back on you.
Despite the fact that I had been unrelenting on this for like a very long time, you know, I'm wanting this outdoor sectional.
Right.
Are you talking about just the sectional in general or the fabric?
The sectional in general, right? Like I had to like, what about this one? What about this? Can we, you know, like, and it doesn't ever become something like we both are looking at. It's like, it was just a me thing. And then finally I sent you a picture that seemed to get your interest. And then I didn't look at it.
He liked. You see, she keeps phrasing it as get your interest. It's one he liked. He's not allowed to have an opinion. What a spoiled little brat. What a spoiled little brat.
One day, and then it was like, okay, now it's dead. And then it was like, there was no bringing it back. It's like the guitar. Mm-hmm. So it's like I get punished or whatever. And so now, even if I say I'd like to look at it, and I've said that I'd like to look at the Revit thing, you're not going to show it to me.
When have you said that?
I did say that.
Dear husband.
When we talked about the fabric, and we had this whole conversation, and you're like, well, I thought you didn't want to do it anymore. And we had this whole conversation again, and I said, yes, I'd like to look at it. But you're not going to do it. Just like we've had the conversation about guitar again. I said, I'd like to look into taking lessons and having somebody give lessons to us. Mm-hmm. Right? But it's not going to happen or whatever. You're not going to do.
Guitar lessons. You got him building sectionals, building patio furniture, fabric, guitar. Like, what? God.
Do it. You're not looking into that. I don't know why. Because it's like once I didn't do it the way you wanted, then it goes away.
Mm-hmm. So when you brought up the fabric thing, it was on the phone.
No, we had a conversation about it in person.
When you wanted to go look at the fabric, I said, I want to go look at fabric. And I don't remember where I was.
We were talking about the plan for the day.
It was on the phone. I think I was with
Dear son.
At soccer. And you said you wanted to go look at fabric. And I was like, well, that's out of order. We need to.
He's at the soccer field, and she's on the phone yapping in his ear. Just not. I can't understand why he wouldn't be excited to pick up the phone.
Look at the design of the thing first and like just get the ball rolling. The fabric comes later. Then when we came home, I was like, okay, so
Dear son.
Wants to go to GameStop. I want to go pick up the guitar. You want to look at fabric. I actually figured out, I was like, so here's the route we can take to the fabric store you want to go to, then to Target or wherever.
Dear son.
And then pick up the guitar, and you didn't want to do it.
Oh, I don't know.
Dear husband.
That whole thing was intermingled with the guitar issues because you were putting the guitar and you wanted me to whatever and...
So then you didn't want to do.
So he mapped out a plan to do, and it wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough.
I tried a couple times, and then I was like, okay, fine, I'll do what you're telling me. I mean,
Dear son.
We'll just go do our own thing. So we left and did our own thing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, I don't.
And then later you told me, I think it might have been the same day that
friend
party was, and I got back late, and you were holding that against me that I meant to do that on purpose. I guess I was gaslighting, and then you just didn't understand what took so long for me to go get the guitar.
Oh my God! And it took. Oh my God! Oh. So not only does she break his balls at the side while he's with the kid at the soccer field, he maps out a plan to do everything they want. It wasn't the right plan for her. So he's like, well, I'm just still going to... Got to be her way, when she says it, how she says it. Yes, man, let's go. All right. It takes too long to do this. It takes too long to do that.
We were just doing whatever.
So I don't know what this line of conversation is really for and what the benefit of it is. Because my perception, which there is some reality to, is that I had...
there is no reality.
To me, I mean, the way that this conversation started was that you have more interest in doing things that the kids are interested in than me. And you said this is a bad example because of the sectional, but I think that we can still talk about the sectional because ultimately it's something that is very important to me. It took me many iterations to get you interested in it. And that it is true that then there was one time or whatever when I was not interested in looking at the CAD drawings, although I was very interested in many other issues of it. And I've then since expressed that I'm still interested in the sectional, and it's not something that you're going to pick up again. That's what it feels like. So, and you've been spending a lot of time now working on the skateboard. Mm-hmm. And so, likewise, I've asked you how many times to have the chairs fixed in the dining room.
Once.
More than once. And it's sitting there broken. So the chair in the dining room is sitting there broken. It really upsets me. I've brought it up more than once that I would like to have the chairs in the dining room fixed. But you're gaslighting that you don't remember or whatever, belittling it.
What are you talking about many times? You asked me once, like a couple weeks ago, that you wanted me to fix that chair. And I don't even think that chair can be fixed.
Dear husband.
You're belittling my interest.
So when you say a bunch of times, what are the other times?
Okay, change your facial.
Yeah, he didn't fix it fast enough. And he's like, I don't think that chair could even be fixed.
Expression right now.
I'm confused.
You're getting confused on a detail. Because ultimately it doesn't matter. Because even if I asked you just once, it's still valid.
Okay.
I asked you once.
Sure.
To fix the chair. And you acted like you were going to look into it.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing has happened. And now there's a gigantic couch in the living room that you've offered somebody else to fix.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get free soccer potentially for...
Dear son.
Or I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up, you know? How many times did I have to ask for you to even get some semblance of interest in this sectional? Many times.
So again, she wants her sectional instead of him fixing a sectional so her child can benefit. Fuck this bitch. Fuck her. She is a selfish, vapid, spoiled bitch. She's terrible. She's terrible.
Regardless of the fact that, yes, eventually you made a revet and I wasn't interested. It took, in order to even get there, how many times for me to ask for you to have some interest in that, right? And then remember the time we had the whole passive-aggressive conversation back there of like, you know, what are you going to do about the bugs?
Dear wife.
Like the bugs were my fault. So
dear wife
has to jump through incredible hoops in order to like win your interest. Mm-hmm. And yet you're going to offer to take and bring home. You're not even going to tell me about it. Hey,
dear wife,
would you mind if I worked on this or whatever? Or...
Told you about it.
He has to ask permission for what he works on. Really? Really? Though he's basically being paid for it. Right? Right?
As soon as you got home.
Before you drove home with a fucking couch,
dear husband,
you could have asked me
if it's okay to do it.
If it's okay, because now there's a gigantic couch in my living room, and I'm trying to get rid of the chair. Like I'm obsessed with getting rid of the chair and the other bed frame, and those things are not gone yet. And now you've brought in another couch that's now sitting in there, and the chair is still sitting there. There's a busted dining room chair that I asked to get fixed, and I'd really like to have a sectional out there. And so what it feels to me very clearly is that, and again, your reactions right now are not so good.
I'm just listening to you.
Okay, but it's not in an empathetic way. It's not. You know, because it's hurtful, right? You're shaking your head now.
Because I'm just looking at you and I'm feeling like, okay, all right, yeah, she's hurt. She's hurt.
All right, like, look, I'll say this. If you're leaving a broken couch in your living room, don't do that. Like, don't do that. Like, I don't know what the exact situation is, but don't do that.
Okay, but it's not, you're not...
So I'm sorry, my face sucks, okay?
You're just not communicating it. Because I'm bringing up very good points, right? Like this furniture thing, that you would actually offer somebody else to fix their couch, and the fact that the dining room chair is broken is not even really on your radar as something that needs to get done.
He's making money. Again, he has to fix it's not a permanent couch. He's fixing the couch so your child can get benefit with soccer lessons. The dining room chair that's been broken, obviously it's obviously not needed right now. I mean, again, you put the needs of your child in front of the needs of her, and then, you fucked up, right? And once again, your facial expressions. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go everywhere with this woman. I don't know why when you see her calling, you're just not so excited to talk to her. I can't figure it out.
It's just not.
Right. It's not. I don't think I can fix it.
But it doesn't matter.
No. Okay.
Because you know that I want it to get fixed and you want me to be happy. And so your wife, I mean, how is it that
Dear son,
will have a busted piece of plastic motherfucking toy that you will save in the thought that you can maybe get a replacement part for it?
Because it's a child. Wow, what a horrible mother. What a horrible mother.
I mean, let's just be real here, right? In terms of
Okay, let's be real.
The reality of being able to fix something.
Yeah, be real, dude.
You will save the plastic toy. You will call the company and have them send us a new replacement toy. And yet I ask you to fix the chair in our dining room. You're going to tell me, yeah, you'll look at it. You're telling yourself it's impossible to fix, and you're just not going to do anything about it.
He just told you. See, you're telling yourself. No, he told you. He told you it can't be fixed. And you don't buy it. Like, he told you it can't be fixed. I don't even think it can be fixed. You're telling yourself.
That's pretty, and then you're going to bring home
it's not like...
Dear husband, dear husband, dear husband.
Just check this.
You said we're going to be real about it, right? So that's a chair that's an antique that we bought 14 or 15 years ago. There's nobody to call to fix it. I mean, I guess I can take it to a custom shop or whatever and see if they can fix it.
Yeah, you could try. You didn't even try any place. You didn't ask me if I had a suggestion on a place to do it.
Is that the same chair that the fabric's coming out of the thing? Or is that a different chair?
I don't know. But regardless.
What do you mean you don't know? You want the chair? You don't know which chair you're talking about? This is what I'm telling you. She doesn't even know which chair it is. Why can't if it's a dining room chair, why can't she just take the chair to it? Like, why does it got to be you? If it's something you can't fix on your own, and obviously you made a great point, like, there's nobody to call. Like, who do you want me to call on a part on this chair? Like, I could try to take it to an antique shop, but does she not have Google? Does she not know how to do anything? Anything. What can she do?
You just decided in your head that it was impossible and wasn't worth your time without ever communicating that to me. Despite the fact that you will go above and beyond, fix something that's like a $3, $4, $5, $20 toy.
For the children.
What message does that send to your wife? And then when
it says, I really care about our kids and I don't like them, if they like a toy they're upset about it, I'm going to try to get it fixed for them. You're a grown-ass woman. You could call around. That's
your wife brings it up, you belittle it. It's not, it's not even about the chair, right? It's about the fact that you just decided it wasn't important to you, and yet you're going to leave a piece of a toy there, right, and make sure that you're going to get that fixed. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry example, especially given that we have a big-ass motherfucking couch in our living room right now.
Why do you keep calling it big? It's
Dear husband.
You're getting
tiny.
stuck on details.
Okay.
It's bigger
It's
than
stuck.
you
Wait a
share.
minute, it's not big? Well, why you get calling it big? It's not big. Well, you get stuck on details. Dude, I'd walk the dogs like 10 hours a day. That's all I would do.
Okay. Yeah, it's bigger than the chair. The chair is tiny.
Yeah. So you often, you just send a lot of messages to your wife that your wife doesn't matter. And so you're looking to get credit for the fact that now you come upstairs in 20 minutes when in the past it took you 40 minutes. And, ultimately that's not about how long it takes. I still think you could do these things in more than 20 minutes, ultimately, if you wanted to. But there's something that you're not, and again, I don't know if it's a control thing, because with the kids, you want to help the kids, but with me, if I ask for something, you don't want to do what, it's kind of that whole thing that got me upset listening to the Gottman chapter, which I asked you to listen to again. There's something going on with the control and not wanting to do what your wife is asking you to do. And I think you need to investigate why that is, because it's not grown up, and it's certainly not loving to be treating your wife that way. And and I'm telling you, this is a reality. So it's not something we need to so the sectional, yes, there was one point where I wasn't as interested, but the sectional is still a reality. There's still no sectional out there, and you're not eager to make it happen because you're not bringing it up. So,
That's right.
the couch is still in there. The dining room chairs are busted. The chair just still needs to get sold. All of those things, they're not important to you. I bought a book because I'm concerned that my husband is depressed. Spent a lot of time looking what are the resources that could help my husband so that he's not depressed anymore, right? I was concerned.
Did you ever consider a muzzle for yourself? That might help.
So I bought this book, and you haven't picked it up yet.
So when was I depressed that you're reacting to?
I mean, I think in general you're depressed. You're making your face again is questioning my reality.
I'm asking.
But you cannot.
Something made you buy the book.
But look,
Dear husband.
Yeah, but when you have that expression on your face,
Dear husband.
it belittles what I'm saying, right?
So what is the expression that I just had?
Yeah, it's a furrowed brow, right?
Oh.
So it doesn't convey
It's confused. So when was it that I was depressed that made you buy the book? It just seems like a real facial expression. I mean,
but it's
sorry,
not
my face.
It's not empathy.
Facial expressions. This is facial expressions.
Pathetic. It sounds like it's the confused
Yeah,
look.
it's a confused look.
Because it's but what it's conveying is that I'm saying something that merits being confused about.
Well, okay, yeah.
So, what was
I'm
that we were
confused.
talking about?
Everybody who's listening to you is confused. Because you're a dummy who thinks you're smart. And you're not.
Depressed because you.
Yeah. I mean, why are you? I mean, and also, it's what do you mean?
You told
what
me
makes you think that you're depressed?
I'm depressed.
I mean, you take depression medicine.
Which
this is a silly.
means I'm not depressed because I'm on the medication, right?
No, that's not true.
Okay.
You're still depressed.
Dear husband.
I mean, again, this is a tangent conversation to be having, but you don't have you're on your phone a lot too, and you're tired, and you have a hard time getting out of bed, and you're eating like shit, right? And not being honest about that either. So, yeah. And then
What do you mean I'm
also,
not being honest about that?
well, I mean, we had a budget that we set a very long time ago about how much we were going to spend on food. And then you started buying salads, and we were going to bring lunch, and blah, blah, blah. And then you just decided to start buying a bunch of shit. And you never talked to me about it, right?
Okay.
So, but I mean, particularly.
Because I don't talk about it, again, is like gaslighting, because that means I'm lying to you about it.
It's lying by avoidance.
Okay. All right.
It's you buying shit behind my back. I mean, it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
And I want to let you know.
So buying food is gaslighting and lying too. It's just the rules. Where is it? Can she write it out so we can make a rule book, please?
I'm interested in being transparent. I now have an app on my phone that sends me alerts anytime something gets bought. And so I will know when you buy something, so you can't do that anymore.
Okay.
So you were suicidal or had suicidal thoughts when we were I think that merits saying that you were depressed, and so I got the book. So,
okay, so it was that night that I was doing the soundscapes thing, and I got depressed and suicidal thoughts.
I don't remember, but I do think that you are depressed, and it's not just about that night, because I think that, all of these things contribute to you being depressed. I mean, I also can tell that you're depressed when you start being more reclusive. And so you find, projects around at a place that you're not going to do. You don't really want to go over to people's houses. You don't really want to have people over. You just are going to sit on the couch and be on your phone. And you have major depression. I mean, according to the thing, you have major depressive disorder. It's not mild depression. You have major depressive disorder. And it's not something that the medicine is just going to fix, right? Just like
Dear son,
takes medicine, but it's not like he doesn't have ADHD anymore. These things aren't going to, medication isn't just going to fix it, and all of a sudden you're not depressed anymore.
If your son has ADHD, it's as a direct result to her. If your kid's if you're medicating your child for ADHD, it's because of her. I can't be any clearer than that. She's going to destroy your children. You have got to put her in check. You got to stand up to her. You got to stand up to her at this point. Okay, she ain't going anywhere. I think she's probably looking for you to fucking check her. You got to lay it down, say this is how it's going to be. This bullshit. You are going to get some serious therapy for borderline personality. You're going to call it as it is. Because she's going to destroy your children. If he is on medication for ADHD, it's a direct result of her.
So, yes, I think that you're depressed. I bought a book, and you're not even going to look at the book. Because you don't want to be influenced by your wife. And when you don't want to be influenced by your wife, how can you be loving with your wife? Because it seems like you've got it in your head that I'm a nag, or it's like, I don't want to do what she says. I'm going to grown up. I'm going to wear what I want to wear.
Assigning more, telling him what he's thinking, why he's doing it, why it's against her, and why he should apologize. Don't frown your brow. Don't frown your brow as she's saying it, though, dude, because then you're gaslighting her and lying to her. Now I'm going to see every time you make a purchase for food and see, because you have to feed yourself, because your life is so out of control. The one thing you can control is what goes into your mouth. And now she don't want to do that. I get it. I get it.
I'm going to keep my beard, She can't do that to me. Well, all of that thinking is the opposite of how marriage is supposed to work.
I'm going to keep my beard? Is that what you can't? She decides whether or not you keep a beard or not? Who the fuck does she think she is? Well, let me go back a little bit on that.
So, yes, I think that you're depressed. I bought a book, and you're not even going to look at the book. Because you don't want to be influenced by your wife. And when you don't want to be influenced by your wife, how can you be loving with your wife? Because seems like you've got it in your head that I'm a nag, or it's like, I don't want to do what she says. I'm going to grown up. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to keep my beard.
I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to keep... Who the fuck does she think she is? How dare you? How fucking dare you?
You know, she can't do that to me. Well, all of that thinking is the opposite of how marriage is supposed to work. You know, and then you're doing so.
No, you don't get to tell your husband what he can wear and if he can have a beard or not. I understand the concern that he's eating like shit and stuffing bacon double cheeses in the car, but you're the reason why.
So then you're like, I'm not going to show her this beard, or I'm not going to do it. I'm going to buy the clothes I want. I'm going to keep shopping at Ross if I want to shop at Ross, and I'm going to do...
Ross? Ross Dress for Less? That's her fucking... He's shopping at... What a monster, huh? What a this is how you guerrilla rape a man's soul.
Do what I want, right? And so then you hang out with...
Dear son.
Because he's not going to tell you no. And then you're going to start buying stuff behind my back. I'll show her. I'll just do what I want, right? You know, I buy a book. Hey, I think this book will help you.
It's not about the money. It's about the control. It's clearly not, because they're not having... It doesn't sound like we're broke and we don't have money and we can't pay our bill. It's all about control. This is why he wanted to send me a flash drive in cash. Ross Dress for Less. And again, she brings up the child. What a horrible woman. What a horrible woman you're married to.
I'm not going to read that book. So I'll leave it there. But you're not even going to say that. You're just going to be like, yeah. Just like you did with the chair. Yeah.
Dear husband.
Can you fix that chair? All right. Meanwhile, you have no plan.
You should take that chair out in the yard and set it on fire. Here. Problem solved. Obliterate the chair in a million pieces. Problem solved. It's worth nothing anyway. There. Done.
Plan's intention of taking the chair to get in.
So.
And here's the other thing I would do. I would go myself to the fabric store, get the fabric I want, and finish the couch that I would want to finish. That's what I would do. Just to make a point. She's not going to appreciate anything you do. Anything. Because she doesn't appreciate you. She has no fucking respect for you or anyone else in her life, including her own children. Which is probably why she has 0 friends, right?
What about the book you bought while we were that I started reading? You said, here, why don't you read this? And
then you get homework assignments. Here, read this about why you're a piece of shit. Fuck off. Why don't you bring home some books for her to read? If you have any balls, you'll show her these videos.
Started reading it. It's not the same thing.
You're shaking your expression. Just watch it out, because you're making me seem like I'm not crazy.
Just like that. Now, could you imagine having to go out shopping in a fabric store if she doesn't? This is the level of eggshells you have to avoid. You got the wrong expression.
Confused because you're telling me I do these things for gaslighting or whatever, but then I did start reading a book that you handed to me to...
Is this the face of someone who wants to understand their wife?
I don't know.
Does it look like you want to understand me?
Weird looking face.
It doesn't. You don't want to understand me.
It looks like I'm frowning.
That's how you look quite frequently when you're in my presence.
Gene, you should ask yourself why. It can't be her, right? It can't be that it's her that I'm so awful to deal with and to be around, that I just make everybody fucking miserable around me. Where are her friends? Where are her family? Where are they? Nowhere, right? Nowhere to be found.
And I think that you're looking at the exception to the rule.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So that one time while we were I bought a book. I bought it actually for myself. You had nothing to read. You're sitting outside. I said, I think you might be interested in this book.
But I brought my own books to read. Okay,
yeah,
I don't have anything to read.
All right, then that's true. But whatever. Anyways, I didn't buy the book for you. I bought the book for me.
You already answered the question, I guess.
Okay.
That's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly, yeah.
All right, well, I'm sorry that I make you feel underloved, and that's it, I guess. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Even the Saturday mornings thing, you got sidetracked when you were just talking about it this last time, because you got sidetracked by the 20 minutes versus 40 minutes. But really, the point you were going to make was that the problem with it is, even if it only took me 5 minutes, the problem with it is when I come upstairs, it's not like I'm happy to come upstairs.
Sure.
So I'm sorry I make you feel underloved.
Do you recognize that the gaslighting is a problem?
Yeah, totally. I hate it.
Have you talked to your therapist about it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, dude. You have a therapist? You need to ask your therapist why my wife's a borderline and what do I do about it. This is not gaslighting. This is just gaslighting you.
Therapist said?
She tries to encourage me to, not be passive. She tries to coach me.
Yeah, dude, listen to her. She's probably telling you need to stand up to this bitch. She's out of her fucking mind.
A little bit.
How so?
I don't know. Ultimately, it's like, I feel like with the therapist, it's like you have to figure it out. And they try to lead you to it or whatever. But she,
Which is why I'm not there. Which is why this isn't counseling and I'm not a therapist, because I'm not trying to. I'm telling you what the problem is. You're married to a borderline histrionic and you need to call her out to her face. To her face. Say, I'm done with your bullshit. I'm done with your histrionic bullshit. And if you ever put yourself above our children again, you can get the fuck out. How about that? You go find yourself a new address. I'll even build you one. How's that? How's that? I'll build you anything you want as long as you fucking leave. How's that? That's what I'm talking about. You need to check her and check her hard. If you ever put yourself above, you ever complain to me again that I treat our children better than you, you can get the fuck out.
Told me, like, when you tell me something you're upset about, that just show the empathy that you have for it. So that's why when I was trying to talk to you about the thing tonight, the text message, when you brought up that you were not gonna small talk, I said, so do you want to talk about the thing? I was trying to get you to tell me how you felt about it rather than just the observation of what happened, so that I could be empathetic. I guess, you're so tired of it that now you're kind of being passive aggressive about it.
Don't. She's so tired of it. You're so tired of it. She has nothing to be tired. She has nothing to be tired about. Nothing. She is fucking exhausting. And she is doing nothing but guerrilla raping your soul. And now that you're apologizing to her, it's like having to kiss your fucking rapist. Tell her how good it was.
Acknowledging how you feel about it. And being empathetic.
I mean, it kind of falls under, like, sometimes you'd be like, what's the temperature going to be like? Like, I don't need to answer that question. And so you can be empowered. It's like it's a passive thing where you needed me to tell you how I felt in order for you to answer the question, but you don't need me to tell you how I feel. You could say, I did this thing, and clearly you got upset,
Mm-hmm.
Or if it was like if it's a fact or whatever, like you can look at, like, I don't need to spoon feed it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about the pattern of the relationship in terms of like this kind of thing?
I think that has happened in the past. I don't know that it happens so much anymore. Where you would get upset with me about things. You would tell me about it, and I would get defensive about it. I feel like ever since we went to Boston, though, I always end up saying I'm sorry, but then afterwards I'll start, like you said, wanting to just sort of avoid.
Saying sorry to her is the equivalent of having to kiss your rapist.
Avoid the situation or whatever, avoid you until eventually I come back around and it starts all over again eventually.
Yeah. Well, I do think that that pattern still happens, because that's what happened this weekend or whatever, where I was upset.
Yeah, I still feel like, I guess if it's true, it's subconscious, but
that's what happened. I said, why did you ignore me? You did it the first night, the second night, third night.
Because it's like, in my mind, it's still like I still see. Oh yeah, I was just trying to have fun, doing whatever, and then because I was not sitting, since I was sitting one seat down from you, you take that as avoiding you, but I felt like I was there hanging out, having a good time.
Oh my God, he didn't sit close enough. Now he didn't sit close enough it never ends. You should just be honest with her. You know what? I don't like you. I don't like you. You're not a good person. You're a fucking emotional bully and a gorilla soul fucker. Nobody likes you. You gotta be honest with her, dude. You have to. What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do?
People over. I was hanging out with
Dear daughter,
for a long time in the beginning, and then I came in there and hung out with the adults for a while, and then I came into the kitchen to deal with dinner, and then afterwards I watched the movie that I wanted to see with the kids. So yeah, because I wasn't around you most of the night, I totally see you feel hurt that I was avoiding you. From my perspective, I can understand that, but I was just wanting to have fun and just doing what was going to be fun for me.
So what does that mean?
And then when I did hang out with you...
It means you're no fun. It means you are a fucking emasculating, ball-breaking soul rapist. That's what it means. That's what it means after 18 years. It seems like you've been together. 18 years, you're still a giant fucking child who wants to put your own needs ahead of the needs of our own children.
The adults, I sat next to you so that I wasn't avoiding you, and told you the guacamole was good as soon as I sat down and tried it. I even participated in the conversation. And then I came in here, and definitely the conversation that was being talked about is one I've heard many, many times. And then I was like, you know what, I gotta get dinner ready anyways. I stopped talking about it with you.
Sometimes,
dear husband,
if the person's upset, then you have to do things that aren't as fun for you.
Always upset. You're always upset. When are you not upset?
I mean, this is sort of like the same thing with,
dear son,
like with your friend. Like, I feel like with,
dear son,
right, he only wants to do things he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he has to learn to take turns. And sometimes he'll be like, this isn't my first favorite thing to do right now, but I want to be my friend. You stay my friend, so I'm going to do it, right? Because I think he would like that, and we did my thing last time. Or, I just pissed him off, so I'm going to go out of my way to let him get his thing,
Yeah.
And so, again, if you lied to me one weekend, and got your parents all in on this lie, I get upset. And another approach.
Oh, so your parents are even. So everybody in your family knows what a horrible fucking woman you're married to, right? Right? That's where we're at. Everybody realizes it.
Is that the next weekend, you might allow yourself to be uncomfortable because you want, first and foremost, for your wife to feel like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. I want to make it up to you. That would have been if you had sat next to me. Then you didn't. Then the next night, you might have said, okay, this isn't the conversation I want to have right now, but I ignored my wife last night, and the weekend before, I totally lied to her. I'm going to sit here right now, you know? It's not just about my enjoyment. I'm in a marriage.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I think the thing is this avoidance of my feelings, as your reflex, is really causes a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're supposed to be my emotional home, and anytime I have emotion,
No, you're supposed to be her emotional douchebag, just there to use when it.
either you don't want to hear them, or either my emotions make you angry or indifferent. That's the pattern, you know? Like, I don't ever hear, like, I mean, I don't really think you're like, how does that make you feel? I'm like, tell me more, you know? What can I do to make you not feel? Like, I don't get that, you know? I want to be the person that you want to come talk to about how you're feeling. It's like, anytime I have a feeling, I get punished because I start to talk and then you will leave like right in the middle of it. Like in the case of the thing when I was like, I think you weren't honest, and then you were gone.
I mean, here goes another facial expression because it's not how I remember it.
I know, but that's what the gaslighting is.
Dear husband.
Because what
But
happens...
I don't remember how you tell the story.
No, it isn't. You have a disagreement, and it's not oh, God, she is fucking horrendous. She is horrendous.
But that's what happens every
we were
time I
in
tell
here.
a story.
Dear husband.
Told me I was getting something out of the refrigerator. You told me you figured out that I lied, and I go, huh. You know, I made some kind of grunt acknowledgement of what you had said, and then my memory is that you left and went up somewhere that way, either into the other room or upstairs, and then I did something out, you know, chores, whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
And so because I went outside, then that's the part you remember.
Yeah, dude, you were supposed to wait there. Don't you get it? She's carrying on the conversation in her fucking crazy head, and she leaves the room. You weren't dismissed. You weren't allowed to leave.
But you're getting stuck on
and you're thinking that I left.
Again, he just called her out. She gets stuck on a detail. Again, that's the second time she's used that excuse when she's been called out for being wrong, for accusing him of doing something that she did. Now he's hung up on a detail. She is fucking abhorrent. She should have no say in anything nothing, because she is a pathological liar, a pathological bully. Control freak like I've never seen, whew. Never ending.
It began when you said, huh. You didn't say, you're right. I did.
Every time she says you're hung up, that's gaslighting. That is gaslighting.
Shouldn't have done that. You didn't say, what do you mean? You said, huh. And then I think there was a silence for a while. So, look, whether or not I left the room at one point or not, I don't recall. You definitely left the house.
Oh, God. Oh, see? You left the house. Whether I left it, you left the house. Again, we need the rules. We need them. We need the rules. Or she just gets to make them up as she goes along. But you call her out for saying... You call her out for her doing what she just accused you of, and now you're hung up on a detail. That's the second time she's done that. And she wants to maintain the moral high ground. She got none of it. She has none of it. None of it.
And did some outside errands at some point and never answered the question or just respond in any way to my statement. That was a gaslighting thing. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's not gaslighting, dummy.
Who left or whatever, doesn't matter.
It does. You just accused him.
And then
you just accused him of walking out. Now it doesn't matter. That's narcissism. What applies to me doesn't apply to you. Even when I'm wrong, I'm still right. She is the narcissist, dude. Borderline personality disorder with over-the-top histrionics. That's her. That's her in a nutshell, man.
You definitely were avoided of it. You didn't want to talk about it. You didn't come back and say, no, but
Dear wife,
I want to know what upset you. Or, you're right, there's definitely more to that story, and I'm really sorry I did that. None of that happened. When does your wife feel like she wants to open up and talk to her husband, you know?
Right.
And when I do, you don't always have my side. The thing with my mother was a fantastic example of that. I mean, I felt...
The thing, I told you. I told you. Told you. You didn't have my back. The thing with my mother, I told you. There it is. There it is.
Like you resented me, the fact that I was upset with my mom. Then you started talking to her behind my back. That was really hurtful.
Everybody, huh? Nobody wants to deal with this bitch. Even her own mother. I know it. And she's in competition with her mother for life. I told you. I knew it. I knew it.
And so, who can I trust? But still, like when I say certain things, like, seems like my mom's on the spectrum. You're like, I don't know, you know?
Seems like my mom's on the spectrum. Yeah, that shit gets handed down, don't it?
I don't know if she is or not.
Remember when there was a time that you were working at home and you would be in the office, I'd put the kids to bed and come downstairs and say, so you're upset about something?
Who, me? I would put the kids to bed?
No, you would be working in the office. I would put the kids to bed, come downstairs and say, seems like you're upset about something. That was different, huh? Guess that didn't last long.
This thing with like putting the kids to bed and how long it takes to put the kids to bed has been something that's been going on for a very long time. And I think that it's worth exploring why you talk to the kids different than you talk to me in the first place. Not just how you react when I bring it up. That's there. There's a reason why it took you 40 minutes to put the kids to bed. You know? There's a reason why. I mean,
Took them too long to put the kids to bed. Like, everything is timed.
So, you know, it's like another anger thing. Something is like, okay, you're tired in the evening. So I said to you, don't get in bed with
dear son,
you put him to bed. Because when you start lying down, then you're going to stay tired. But every night you lay down,
dear son,
you put him to bed. You know? And so, you know, I guess I'm just like the bossy person who's like trying to do this thing, but it's like, I just want my husband to want to hang out with me. I'm not a bad person. It's not like you seem to care about the problem, which is like that kids go to bed, I'm too tired to really even spend the next time with my wife, right? I'm kind of like a bump on a log, and I start falling asleep. You don't acknowledge that it's a problem for yourself. And then I suggest that you do something, and then you don't do it. Is it because you don't want to be around me? That's how it feels. I think that is how it is. But I don't know. Because the fact of the matter is, call, and you think it's me, you say one thing, and then you feel that it's
dear son,
you react a completely different way. So that is a thing. You know? I don't know why that is. If it's just a control thing, like you don't want to feel like you have to be nice to your wife, or you want to just be able to be, you know, like, so I'm not going to do what you want and make you feel like I love you or whatever. Like, I just want to do what I want to do. I don't know. But it all feeds into each other, for sure. Because, like, it's not good that I have to now check the credit cards. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to be like, what did you buy? You know, and that's going to make you feel, like, annoying. You know? Then it's going to could potentially make you now, I don't know, go out of your way even more to try to, you know? And then, you know, the trust is a thing. But ultimately, it's like, I think that maybe you should think, like, what is it that you like about your wife? You know?
Nothing.
What is it that you like?
Nothing. There it is, dude. She knows you can't stand her. And you need to be honest with you. I don't like anything about you. Because you're horrible. You're a horrible person to be with. You're a horrible person to interact with. You're a horrible person to talk to. You're a horrible person to talk to me. You're a horrible mother. You're selfish. You're entitled. You're petulant. You're abusive. You're controlling. And you're just an abhorrent person. Clear enough?
About your wife, and like that you like about the partner are the things that you grow to hate about the partner, you know? And unfortunately, I think you married me because there were things you felt like you weren't good at.
Yeah.
And now it pisses you off.
Yeah. I
don't know. That there's something going on. So if I say something that doesn't get you know.
Again, putting more thoughts into why you married me for the wrong reason. All bad intent. All of it.
Like, I'm going to be like, look, I don't think we have time to do that. So that's a good skill. I'm good. I'm usually right about how long things are going to take. I have a better chance of guessing it than you.
Yeah.
So that's something, like, I have my shit together. You are a woman, generally has her shit together, right? And it's good at executive function and some things that you're not good at. And so that was like, cool, this woman, she's good at this shit. Like, I like that, right? She's outgoing. I like that she's outgoing. She, like, talks to people. I'm not good at that, right?
Sure.
And now it's like, she's just going to tell me.
See, this is what she's doing right now. She knows how fucking annoying she is and how she drives people away. And now she's trying to make it as a strength of hers. This is gaslighting. This is what she's doing right now. She's gaslighting you. So now she's not only is she not taking responsibility, she's saying the way I interact and behave is my strength, and that's why you wanted to be with me in the first place. Bullshit. She knows how fucking horrible she is. She knows it.
That woman who I know is good at keeping her shit together is not going to want me to buy this thing. She's probably right, but I'm going to go ahead and do this shit behind her back. Or she's not right, but you're going to tell her. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to tell yourself, like, what does she know? She doesn't know anything. It doesn't make it. She makes this rule. You know, that's the whole reason why you married me in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like we're not a team anymore. Like, oh, you're good at this, I'm good at that. It's like, no, I'm going to go, and do this lie, pretend thing. Like, oh, I'm just going to the store, and I'm going to go to the store. You can either be resentful, and this is what I was talking about before, like, that there's a jealousy thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, he was jealous of me.
Mm-hmm.
And it impacted our friendship. And you're like, I thought about it, but I don't think that's it. There is something.
There it is, friends leaving her because they're jealous of her. No, you don't agree with no, because you're awful. You're awful. You're an awful person to be around. I'm sure your husband's not the only person. You bully everybody.
To it. There's a resentment that's there because
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at certain things,
This
and
is
then I'm going
all-
to tell you something.
Dude, you gotta understand, this is all projection. All of it. All of it.
You don't want to hear it.
Uh-huh.
Because if you wanted to hear it, you'd tell me. And say,
Dear wife,
I don't know, you're a better judge of this. Do you think you have time to do X, Y, and Z? You know? Or, you know,
dear wife,
we had this rule that we agreed to. Tell me again. Nope, yeah, that makes sense. You know, but no, instead it's just like a, no, I'm not good at that. You know, like I'm not taking my medicine. You know, and then it's like I'm the bad guy.
What's the I'm not taking my medicine thing?
I mean, it's like I'm saying, okay, so
dear son,
I had a huge meltdown at the doctor. He had to take shots.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess you've taken him to these physicals for the past year or two. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I took him to get a physical.
So she don't even take the kids to the fucking doctor. She's such a fucking horrible woman. She's such a bad mother.
Okay.
And all he had to do was prick on his finger,
Yeah.
and he had a fucking meltdown. We had to hold him down. And then, unfortunately, he had another shot,
Yeah.
and he went ballistic. I mean, it was definitely very, like, and so it's like,
dear son,
when we were driving home, I said, one of the things,
dear son,
since you're on the spectrum, there's something you don't want to do, you're going to have a harder time coping with it than other people. Because, you know, that's one of the things with it, you know? So, like...
If he's on the spectrum, she put him on the spectrum. I promise you this, man. Okay, you get him, you got to get her in check for his sake, man.
And it's going to make it so maybe if your friend wants to do something, you're going to be less likely to want to compromise. Or, you know, and if there's something at school you don't want to do, it's harder for you to be able to cope. And so I'm like, so start to as soon as we got to the doctor, it's weird, we go to the doctor all the time, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, as soon as he just didn't want to get out of the car, like, and it was kind of like, huh. And so I don't know if he thought maybe I'm going to end up getting a shot here, or and he hadn't even fully registered in his head. And then once we got the, and it's like, how many times has he been with me and
Dear daughter,
getting her allergy shot, week after week after week, for like 5 years.
Right.
He went fucking nuts. Like, I mean, it was like, twice. And he was like begging, like, can we come back and do it? Because I was going to have him get a flu shot too, but they didn't have the tongue kind. So I was like, okay, we can do that when that comes in.
dear daughter,
I'm going to have to do it anyway, so we could take them together and get that. So he was like, let's do it. And so he was like begging, like anything he could do to get out of doing it, he was going to do. And so I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to
You mean the kid doesn't like shots? Go figure. Wow.
take your, like, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, you may not be good at time management, you know, but rather than like, hey, my wife is really good at this, I'm gonna like, you know, if she tells me something, I'm
Seems like you have zero empathy for your own son as you're talking to him like an adult. Well, if you freak out, you know, people are gonna... You're horrible. You're a horrible mother. You're a horrible mother. You spend no time with your children. You have time constraints on what you take what with your own children. You are a horrible mother. No compassion, no empathy. You only look for yourself, not for your fucking children, though, right?
gonna believe it because this isn't necessarily something I'm good at, right?
Mhm.
Like, rather than do that, it's like, you're gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna tell you about it. And then, you know, and then be like, what, me? Go to the store? That time? Huh? Where's, you know, and then just kind of act like I'm crazy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so we come up with rules to try to fix something. Like, don't go to bed with
dear son,
so that you can come downstairs, or no eating in there, or, you know, try to
dear son,
clean his room up every night so it doesn't get out of control, or don't let him look at your phone, have him on my phone, right, because he'll have a better relationship with me. Like, all of the things that I've tried to do to help this thing, right, and then it's like you're, and it's like you just are gonna like avoid them because it's not convenient for you in the moment, and then complain that I'm making it like that it's my rule or whatever, even though we both agreed to it at the time, because it's like always, I mean, generally I have a good idea. It's worth trying, you know. Mm-hmm. So in the moment I'll say, let's do this.
dear husband,
I think it makes sense, like, have him be on my phone most of the time, right? And you're like, okay, yeah. Although, I don't know if you really agreed to it at the time, but you convey to me that you do, just like you conveyed to me that you were gonna fix the dining room chair. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I think, I mean, you're honestly, like, this is where I'm saying there's a trust issue, because I'll say, can you pick that chair or whatever, get a thing, and you'll say, yeah, I'll look into getting that chair fixed for you. I was like, that would mean a lot to me.
dear husband,
And then it's not gonna happen. Or I say, you know, I'm really concerned. I feel like
dear son,
he hates me right now. Maybe he would like me more if he thinks he can play on my phone and not your phone. And it's like, you're like, yeah, but then
Maybe my son would like me more. So your own child doesn't like you. I told you she was the cause of this with him. Because she's an empty, vapid, selfish woman.
It's gone, you know. And then if I bring it up, then it's like, it's a gaslight, like, no, we never agreed to that.
dear wife,
And then I'm controlling, even though you just like take the control by doing those things without even having a conversation with me about it. And then you play the victim.
Okay. Take the dogs out.
Okay. Can I see your phone? So look on Facebook. Something happened.
Can I see your phone? Is that what she said at the end of that? Wow. This is what having your soul gorilla fucked repeatedly is like. She is horrendous. She don't give a shit about your kids. She don't give a shit about your son. She only cares about herself. It was obvious. I knew the problem generates with her mother. I knew it. You got the point where your family's trying to cover for you from this woman, that you're actually even talking to her mother because she's so out of hand. Her friends are rejecting her, obviously, because they're jealous of her. But that's why you wanted her, because that's why you wanted her in the first place, right? Because this is how she acts. You got to stand up to her, and you got to stand up to her now. Because this is borderline personality disorder. It's out of control for your kid's sake. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, thank you so much for your contribution and the audio, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching who's made it this far. I mean, it's over an hour and a half. It's just over near 2.5 hours total with the 2 videos. So thank you if you made it this far. Thank you for watching. Leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to have a private video made, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.